Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Warriors Den, and welcome to the Frozen Shores Year 5 Season 4 is here. It will be launching on December 9th. We have all of the details for you right here on the show. But before we get to all of that stuff, we would like to introduce a new member of the Warriors Den team, Lawrence Campbell, Community Manager. Dude, welcome to the Den. Welcome to the team. How are you doing?
Dude, I am doing so great. I'm super excited to be here. I played Forhonor since day one. Well, day and year one. I played it on and off kind of since then, but I mean, I put hundreds of hours into this. I'm a huge fan of the project. Even before I started working at Ubisoft, I was a huge fan of For So it's just so awesome to be here on the Warriors Den, and I'm just so stoked. I'm just so excited to bring in and ring in a new season with you.
Dude, yeah, no, I'm very excited for Frozen Shores. I'm very excited to have you on the team. But like, since you've been playing for a while, who was the character you kind of main in For Honor? Who's your go-to?
Both Siege and For Honor. I main Valkyrie. I've got a really solid theme going on for Valkyric themes. I don't know.
You just like intimidating people, so I mean, like that's totally, that's
I like being scared for the most part.
Nice.
So before we dive into our show today about Frozen Shores, Josh, do you have any information you would like to provide about some things that might be dropping from us to our players?
I would love to talk about that. We are doing Twitch drops. Again, before we get into all of that fun stuff, make sure that your Ubisoft and your Twitch accounts are linked so you can receive all of the rewards. And so basically what we're going to do is for every 30 minutes of accumulated viewing time, you will receive one scavenger crate. And you see that thing at the bottom right there? For every 10 minutes of accumulated viewing time, that is 100,000 steel. You have a chance to win that.
That's a lot of steel, Josh.
Look at all those zeros, man.
That's like 5 zeros.
I wish my bank account looked like that. That'd be rad.
Bruh.
But your For Honor bank account can look like that if you you happen to win. So, I mean, look at that.
Look at that. That's amazing.
So generous. Just kidding.
One additional piece of housekeeping I would like to include is, you know, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with our Twitter or our Instagram or our YouTube channels too much, but if you have been, we have been putting out the For Honor Skill Challenge series, an amazing Zero to Hero workout with the one and only Marco Iolo to kind of guide you. Maybe your game's like mid-tier. Maybe you're like okay. Maybe you want to get to the next level. These videos will 100% help you get through the navigate the dangerous waters, as it were, of For Honor and the difficulties you can experience there.
Navigate the Frozen Shores?
Go to youtube.com/Ubisoft Game Plan. We are also posting these videos on our Twitter and our Instagram accounts, so please go check that out. Yeah, well, that's what we've got for housekeeping. So I think it's time for a little bit of a story trailer.
Is it trailer time?
It's trailer time. So we'll be back, but in the meantime, please enjoy the Year 5 Season 4 story trailer for Frozen Shores.
进入正题了，好不好？哦 ，trailer。
What does one find at the end of a storm? Relief, as weary eyes look up to clear skies. Comfort, as friends find each other again and celebrate. Pride even, for surviving the storm is no easy feat. It almost sounds like a dream, doesn't it? A fleeting dream, for the waters never stay still for long. Because after the storm comes a rogue wave.
哇，你不会跟我说他妈新英雄是海盗吧 ，bro？ 你不会跟我说他妈新英雄是海盗吧？
What an amazing trailer and what an amazing season we've got planned out for you guys. I hope you're just as excited
干，你
as
跟
we
我
are
如果跟我
here.
说他妈这个新
Brought
英
some
雄是
folks
海
on
盗，
to
我他
talk
妈
to
会
us a
翻
little
桌。
bit about
我跟你讲，
what's going on
100%，
for
他
your
一定会
5
抠
season
笔。
4 to dig in
那个嘛，
kind of into the
天
details
地
of what we
的
got. We've
天
got
地
Nico
的
here.
那个动作。
We've got Elise and we've got Andrew. Andrew is unfortunately experiencing some technical difficulties, so we have this amazing, wonderful picture of him, but still here, still good, still kicking. So I guess where I'd like to start is Nico. If you just want to just crack open some of the details of the battle pass and the season content we've got planned for the Frozen Shores. Thanks so much for being on.
Sure, Lawrence. So yeah, Heathmore has gone through its share of catastrophes in the past seasons, right? Season 2, we got the drought. Season 3, the flooding, and the winter is finally here to bring some calm, hopefully some respite. And you know, it might be cold outside. There's a lot of warmth in our heart as the holiday season is approaching, and with it, the Frostwind celebrations, which is going to be our main event launching this new season. The new season will also bring along a new battle pass with new fresh content for you to grind. Gameplay wise, we have a bunch of new elements that are coming. We've got the Shinobi update, we've got an update to the Smog Bomb feat, and we have a new testing grounds coming at the beginning of this season. This testing ground will be about another round of changes for Dominion, as well as some changes to the Conqueror hero that you know we'll be detailing later on the show. That is the first half of season 4. The second part of the season gets very interesting because we are bringing our new character at the mid-season point. So we can't wait to show you who this character is. Is it going to be a knight, a Viking, a samurai, a Wulin? We're obviously not going to tell you. So stay tuned for this. What I can tell is that it's pretty exciting, and this is a hero that's going to be shaking things up in a major way. So yeah, we can't wait to share all of that info with you. So that's going to kickstart the second half of the season. And there's still a lot to happen in that second part. We're going to have new army variations. We're going to have a new round of the Covenant games. We're going to bring back Blackfriars Repost event. And of course, we're going to be seeing the finals, the major Dominion Series Championship to conclude our second competitive season.
Fantastic. Very exciting stuff. Thank you so much for providing some insights into that, Nico. I'm so excited. I'm sorry. Moving into kind of a similar but different note, Elise is here to talk to us a little about, I think, the narrative of the next season. Elise, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good, thank you. And you?
Excellent. I'm well, thank you. Really excited to hear what you've got to say about the narrative.
Yeah, let's not get too chilly. But yeah, so just to bring you a bit of the warmth of the narrative for this season, beautiful text written by Ian, one of our game writers. Guess I'm gonna just read the beginning of it because I know that players want to know more about the cool and shiny stuff. So the reading part is not always the most it's just to set things up, right?
我觉得会是中国海盗，虽然说它看起来真是西洋，但是它其实已经太多了，所以我觉得是中国海盗，也不会应该不会是维京，应该不会是维京，我觉得是中国海盗。
Ships were stuck in the ice, which only added to the odd serenity that had befallen Heathmore. So yeah, this season is like, as Nico mentioned, a time of respite more, like something a bit quieter, a bit calmer after like so many catastrophes, all those crazy climate changes happening. Now the warriors have some time to gather their strength to reunite with those that they might have lost. And so it's a time of celebrations, a bit more like people are still fighting, but there's also like that joy of reuniting with people that they might have lost in the past.
但是应该不会再是骑士，他妈骑士的角色真的他妈太多了，好吗
？Amazing trailer, like kudos to Elix by the way, who did an amazing job again. There's that cool ship like also behind my head. It's red cells, something coming. We can't tell you too much about it, but you will have some hints here and there, obviously, in the game, especially in the first half of the season. So yeah, keep an eye out and enjoy the story, I guess.
Thank you very much for that, Elise. Some great stuff. And now last but not least, the final facet we have of building the story. Andrew, you want to tell us a little bit about the direction you chose to take the art in for this season?
Yes, sure. I mean, it's been a long journey that we took from the drought, wildfire, rain to the storm, and now everything is frozen as I am right now. It's like a calm after a storm. It's artistic approach. This is the most intense moment, which can be right before the climax, because you never know what will happen, or in this case, who will be coming into the Hitmore. The whole previous seasons were built for this moment to reveal something that is unexpected and something very special. We provided a little bit of tease in this TU. You're gonna see something is coming. It's a very visible behind the fog, and the winter's here, as well as some strangers arrive in the Hitmore. Unexpected guests in the battlefield, but no one suspects any danger from the frozen shore. This season's theme is definitely about the frozen environment as Montreal and the seafarers. And the map harbor is where our stranger guests arrives the first. Some approaches to the marketplace to exchange the goods. Some parties with the peoples of Hitmore. Some are recruited as the soldiers to fight in the mid lanes. We are still not sure that where they came from, nor who they are. But only thing that seems to be appear time to time is a ghost ship that appears from far away, behind the fog from harbor, Gauntlet, and the river fort. But again, no one suspects any danger from the frozen shore.
That's so cool. Honestly, I absolutely love that. But that's not all we've got going on for Year 5 Season 4. We also have our amazing Battle Pass. Ooh, shiny, fancy, sparkly. Andrew, do you want to tell us a little more about the art direction we've got going on here?
Of course. Basically, the seasonal theme of this season is the frozen, cold winter, the voyage, and the treasures. And for the mood effect, we wanted to provide something that is related with the frozen seafarers. Not just a sailor, but a badass-looking one. I mean, you can equip the head with the one-eye cover as saying "Aye, aye, Captain." But you can, if you wanna be a bit more than a sailor here. Yes, we also have a captain version of it.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
Also, battle outfits. It's not just another outfit. This is the winter 2021 Montreal collection that you don't want to miss it out. It's icy blue and dark tone is a seasonal collection color as a cold Montreal weather. And yeah, I know I'm kind of trying very hard here. And for the ornament, looking pretty cool, super cool. It's just so cool that you can wear it on your forehead or the shoulder pad, and it just works for this season. And for the execution, getting tired of slicing, chopping, your own weapon. How about using the hook? Presenting the best experience of a butcher shop to your favorite opponent. And the Kage pose at the end is just an extra. Podium signature, are you a drama queen? Dramatic entrance of the ending signatures here. And for the weapon, lastly, but not the least, again, you need these weapons. You will have to match the character variation that you will unlock it next to you, but again, amazing job, amazing work, Chengdu Studio, for these weapons.
And that's so much cool stuff that we have in the Battle Pass here. Amazing work by everyone. Really loved taking a look at all of that. Nico, Elise, Andrew, thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you so much for being here and shedding some light on the frozen shores, giving us some insights there.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thing.
Absolutely. So we are going to take a little break and let you guys look at the Battle Pass weapons we have coming up for Year 5 Season 4. It's going to be some really cool stuff. But don't go anywhere because we will be right back to talk a little more about the Frostwind celebration.
Bye everyone.
Bye。它是 Battle Pass 还是免费的 Battle Pass？它是付费的 Battle Pass 还是免费的 Battle？ 干，免费的 Battle Pass。哦，这个格里芬的武器蛮帅的。哦，这个也蛮帅的。它有那个中国底耶，所以我真的觉得是中国的。新角色会是中国。Like I don't fucking know. It's just a guess. 大蛇的刀 ，Well, not a fan. 哦，虚心的这把蛮帅的。No bullshit。但中国角色真的很少，看成这样而已。
And welcome back, Warriors. Thanks so much for being here with us. It's a special time of the year. 'Tis the season for what exactly, Josh?
Frostwind.
Yeah. Yes, it is the season for Frostwind. Frostwind is back around. It's going to run from December 9th to December 30th. Alongside Frostwind, we're going to be bringing back the Ice Brawlers game mode, which is a 2v2 best of 9 with a twist. There we go.
Oh, 又是这个。Oh, boring. Give me new stuff.
Into the icy, frigid depths of the lake. Very
boring.
Cool. Can you imagine swimming in that?
People do for their health in the colder countries up north.
That's wild, man. I
couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Major kudos to all of those people. It's incredible stuff. So, on top of bringing back Ice Brawlers, we're also going to be introducing some pretty cool paired emotes. Going to talk a little about those now. First, we have for 10,000 steel, the All Is Bright Chimera themed paired emote.
Oh, I love it. I love this one. I love this one.
Love on the battlefield.
Love on the battlefield. And then we have the much less amicable Wolf's Gift, also for 10,000 steel.
Come on.
Just ate that coal whole, boy.
Just delicious.
What the
delicious
fuck?
Coal.
I highly doubt that.
这什么东西啊？
Josh, you want to talk a little about the the third emote we have and the fun stuff that goes along with it.
Yes, so we are offering a free event pass with Frostwind's celebrations this year, and they will it will include a free paired emote, and you can use that emote and the 2 that Lawrence spoke about to complete your orders. So for the first 2 weeks of the event, so definitely go ahead and check your order board, make sure you've got your emotes equipped.
Oh Jesus Christ, bro!
Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to kiss the homies on the battlefield and complete an order at the same time? Like it's a win-win in my opinion. So yeah, you can get this in the pre-event pass, and we are also offering in the free event pass. We have this. We see Tiandi here, rocking it, looking super awesome. And you can get them for all heroes. So this isn't just for Tiandi. We also have a mood effect. My boy Aramusha. I really appreciate the team using Aramusha for this. You have the frigid squiddy boys popping up saying hi, and then we have the ornament. You got an octopus, and it looks like there's like a jewel on his head, and I really appreciate that.
Detail there is insane. Like, could you see the little reflections on the facets of the jewel there? That was so cool.
To the team,
Shout out, big shout out.
Shout out.
Beautiful. That's just some of the amazing stuff. We've also got this lovely bit.
Yes, we also have, this is actually some other stuff you'll see in the free event pass. Some weapons that we will be showing off after we are done. Again, the team is doing like an absolute amazing job with these designs, and I am very happy to call them coworkers. That's really cool. But yes, just a quick thing just to mention again.
the
paired emotes, you can complete your orders with those the first 2 weeks of the event. So again, definitely check your order boards. Make sure that you're getting in. Make sure you're completing them. Make sure you have the emotes equipped, and you should be good to go. Ice Brawlers is going to be rad.
So before we get into some of the Frostwind weapons, which we're incredibly excited to show you, I just wanted to say we are going to be right back with Stefan, JC, and Ben. But yeah, in the meantime, take a look at these cool, very artistically well done weapons.
All right, let's see. 这个可以给我那个白看手，值得刷。好吧，或许可以，到时候看。Oh, I love this one. I love this one. 啊，决定这就给我白须星了。
Warriors, welcome back to the den. We just looked at the crossbow weapons, but guess what? It's testing grounds time, and who better to talk about that than the usual suspects, Stefan, JC, and Ben. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
So we are going to be talking about the next phase of the testing grounds later on in the show. But before we get to that, we want to go ahead and give you a fight update because we're going to talk about some changes that will be coming live with Frozen Shores on December 9th. We have some nerfs, and we have a rework coming and going live with Shinobi. So, Stefan, let's go ahead and start with you. Let's talk about these nerfs. Some of these characters have been a little bit frustrating for some of our players, like Shigoki and Orochi. So, kind of like bring us into these changes.
Sure. Really excited to bring to live a number of changes across kind of the board. If you're worried about frustration of playing heroes, we got nerfs for Orochi. If you're in Dominion series, top level players, we got nerfs for Raider and Shigoki. That should open up dumping out our S tier and hopefully making the A, B, C a little more interesting in terms of who picks what. We got Shinobi coming, that came from the previous testing grounds, which is really cool. And then finally, we're going to hit a few of the feats, including probably what remains as the most hated feat right now, so I can't wait for this.
So I'm very excited for the smoke bomb discussion.
I'm glad you picked that one and not the other ones. I would have been no.
I thought you were mentioning slippery, but okay.
That's top three then, I guess. Orochi. So let's talk a little bit about Orochi.
Recovery.
A lot of people are complaining. We have a pretty strong Orochi out there, although it's not the most strong in the game. I think it's behind Raider and Shigoki, if you ask me.
No longer undodgeable.
But there's a number of things people are complaining about. So
前闪没有那个
its way. Maybe I'll pass it to you guys to talk a little bit about what are we doing to it.
Yeah, all right. So the number one complaint we had with Orochi was Dust Devil, which is the infamous dodge for kick. We added this move in the last revamp that we did on a character, and it's really good. And having its miss recovery being cancelled by a dodge is quite strong, and it's also like the number one source of frustration from players. So we've removed the ability to cancel its miss recovery by a dodge. You can still cancel the recovery if you hit with it. So it's not as bad of a deal, but it's still quite a nerf. Should make Orochi be a little bit less safe when you throw out that attack.
Yeah, so quickly there, it's like if you believe that you deserve to punish when you dodge a kick, now you're gonna get it.
对。
On top of that, Lightning Strike is no longer dodgeable, and it can only now be delayed until 400 seconds. So the idea here was that the intent for the mix-up on front dodge was kick and Storm Rush, and not necessarily Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike is more used as a peel tool, so we wanted to make sure that Lightning Strike kept its peeling, so we didn't change when you can do it in the dodge. But now it's no longer a case of, well, I have to know if I'm going to dodge the kick or Lightning Strike or Storm Rush or what am I going to try to do. So in this case, it's, well, if you think Lightning Strike or kick are coming, you can always dodge and you're always going to be okay. And the removal of the delay there a little bit ensures that you can't just do a super late Lightning Strike and still hit somebody who dodged. So those are the base challenges that Orochi faced, that we lowered them a little bit to make sure he's a bit more... less frustrating to fight against, let's say. We've got our Raider next up, right?
Raider, what's wrong with Raider?
HP
right
now
just quickly
down
from the perspective here, I think, is, we believe Raider and Shigoki are probably two SD heroes
no longer
in Dominion. We're seeing them in the Dominion series quite prevalently. So our kind of feeling is if we can nerf out these two as our S tier, maybe they'll go to A, and then therefore we'll see a bit more variety
top damage
play.
Is now 10.
I'm sure some of the frustrations will also go down for full population.
So, one of the things,
version. Okay, hold on.
Is that we've lowered his HP. He's now 30 down from 40. The reason there is that we want to make sure that he doesn't have as strong a trading capability as he did before. We love the armor, we love where it is, the timings, all that sort of stuff. Helps Raider really shine in group fights, so that's very good. But at the same time, is he
30 damage down from
you need to land one more heavy. or like we have to work a little bit harder to get him down. So with less trading ability, he should be a bit less oppressive and harder to fight against. We've also had we've got a lot of complaints, rightfully so, I think, about the knee attack. So this is what happens after you do a stampede charge. And the problems with it was that it was draining too much stamina. So when you did a stampede charge on somebody, you would drain 50 stamina off of them, which is rather high for like a throw, on top of being able to just like ledge them or throw them into traps or whatever you want. So with knee no longer draining stamina or stunning, the functionality is still there. You'll still smash people into the wall, you'll still knee them, but the knee won't drain stamina anymore and it won't stun. So you still have you still have the guaranteed light afterwards and stuff. All the good stuff that we had before still works. It's just less frustrating to face.
We should have called it storming knee attack.
My God, I wanted to make that same joke.
Storming knee.
Oh my God.
Storming knee. Yeah.
Somebody at least like bookmark that for future references, just in case. Just in case.
Yeah. All right. So next up we have Storming Tap, the soft phase version specifically. So we lowered the damage to 10. It used to deal 12, and like looking back at it, having an enhanced light that is soft faintable, that's unreactable, that resets your chain, dealing 12 damage was a bit too high, so we lowered it down to 10. So Raiders gonna have to work a little bit more to kill you and do effective stuff with it. It's still good, it's still unreactable, it still has all these good properties. It just deals a smidge less damage, but over time that kind of adds up, so that feels good there. And there's also like other damage nerfs coming down the line. So Raiders top heavies and chains, so the second and the finisher, now deal less damage. The second goes down to 30 from 32, and the finisher goes down to 33 from 36. These damage nerfs are necessary. Raider was trading super high, dealing a ton of damage. It also affects his out of stamina punishes a little bit. It's not major, but it still deals a bit less damage, but it's more, again, manageable. And last but not least, I think one of the other ones that are really complained about is Raider's Fury. That's Chain Zone. So it used to deal 38 damage, which is on a very, very, very high level. We had it at that because it's a very slow attack. It can get interrupted in group fights. But turns out that having such a huge trajectory that you can access rather easily, that dealt 38 damage was kind of high. So we lowered it to 32. It still deals like quite an acceptable amount of damage at 32.
Yeah.
But going down from 38 is quite warranted, I think. That's good. Next we have Shigoki, Steph.
Side dodge
same deal as Raider, basically. Just too much damage, so kind of across the board we want to bring that down to try to drop both Shigoki and Raider out of the S tier, basically, at a damage level and not at a like kit doesn't work anymore level.
I'm not gonna lie. Anytime that I've like seen a Shigoki on the field, I've run the other way. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I've been a coward. I didn't want to face him. So
have it finisher now deals 30
so
damage.
We've done a couple of changes. Mostly it's about making sure that Shigoki's damage isn't
top
too high.
Have it finisher.
And the first one here, which might not seem like that's not gonna really go lower its damage, is side dodge headbutt. Now changed to finishers at 300 milliseconds in recovery instead of 200. So that might not seem like much, right? You're like,
它的伤害降低，而且降低蛮多的。Changed side heavy opener now deals 28 damage.
Counter those side dodge headbutts, right? So if you do a dodge attack, if you do it like a little bit earlier at the right timing, the odds of you hitting
Demon Ball是哪一个？Demon Ball recovery
much lowered, so that helps you counter it. This does not apply to front dodge headbutt, by the way. It's only from sides. Sides are defensive moves. They have iframes. They have all sorts of good stuff. So we didn't want to like nerf
and open
Shigoki's ability to open up people and to actually do damage and go into his mix-ups. But because it's a defensive move, we wanted to tone it down a little bit so that it has a bit less efficiency.
反正主要就是伤害 nerf 啦。
Demon Ball. So Demon Ball's recovery has lowered by 100 ms, and the opponent's recovery is down by 300. Those numbers might look arbitrary, weird. What's going on here? The main reason for these is that when a Shigoki would guard break you and then do a Demon Ball, and you would go against the wall.
Demon Ball 是那个啦。
Super often in ranked duel maps, Shigoki would get a free Demon's Embrace every single time. With these new timings, Shigoki does not anymore, so it doesn't create as much of a health swing off of a single GB, especially in ranked duels. But in a lot of maps too, like you could like knock people down to a wall and then just get like a really, really large health difference. And so because of that, we wanted to like change that a little bit so that it's a bit more manageable.
I think he even got like a top heavy, right?
Yeah, you would get a top heavy, you get a bunch of stuff. So at least with this, like you still get, like you can still get stuff, you still get a light, but you're not gonna get a heavy, you're not gonna get Demon's Embrace, so that works quite well. It balances out Shigoki's damage quite a bit there. And on top of that, we have also other damage nerfs for Shigoki. So most of his heavies got nerfed. The charge heavy openers, side and top, both got lower damage. They're both going down by 4. So charge side heavy is 28, charge top heavy is 30. And uncharged heavy finishers now deal 26, down from 31. And the charge side heavy finishers is down by 6, as well as the top, so 30 and 32 respectively. Those damage, like, they're still high, right? But part of the reason why Shigoki was so strong is partly because of short-tempered, which we're going to talk about in the next slide. But basically, short-tempered made sure that Shigoki would get massive damage in group fights. Those charged side heavy finishers, like that dealt 36, would end up dealing like something like close to like 42, 44 or something. So it was like super, super high. Yeah. On zone property attacks, you would hit like 4 people around you, go nuts. So that damage being lower, like puts him more on the normal curve of damage. And even with short tempered, you still go up. With short tempered, you're actually going to get 36 now instead of not even 36. You would have gotten 36, you're going to get 34. That's a little bit different.
I've never heard such a defensive 6 damage nerf in my life. This is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta figure that. I understandably, some people might not be happy about this, so we have to make sure that people know and understand the logic behind our reasons.
Very good defense of the defense.
So feat balance changes, Steph.
Oh, across the board. I mean, like everyone can see the giant red beacon arrow pointing towards the bottom one there, thankfully. But just before we get to that one, I guess kind of across the board, it's just shaving a bit of damage, a little bit of the times that Orochi can bring over stamina. Down the damage on Orochi as well with slip through, and then smoke bomb. Thankfully, not being the worst thing in the universe anymore. I'll let you skip it.
Yeah. So okay, so
苦就是他丢的速度更慢了，
the damage buff used to be 20%, now it's 15%. More manageable. Slight nerf to Shigoki. Also affects Aramusha, but on a much lower scale.
Kage 是什么东西 ？Smoke bomb now stuns all
slip through has changed also quite a bit. It used to give Orochi a lot of damage, especially on like Riptide. So what we've done with slip through is that the damage buff that you gain when you dodge only applies to the attack that you deal on a dodge, and the effect is removed as soon as damage is dealt. As soon as actually a hit line, like interaction, the first attack actually like hits, misses, or blocked or whatever.
Interaction, the effect
immediately, so you can't go like Riptide into a combo light and get that we've also nerfed the damage buff it gives. It used to be 40%, now it's 30%. Again, like Shigoki, Orochi with this was way above the curve in terms of damage, so we've lowered that a little bit. And it can also now trigger every 3 seconds instead of every second. So what that means is you might not get it on every single dodge if you keep dodging all the time trying to use this. And with these changes, Ben, I don't know if you want to tell us, there's been some interaction with Nusha that this ends up doing, right?
Yeah. Her Caltrops used to interact with this feat very favorably, let's say, where as long as she was just kind of dodging left and right, the feat would activate just by dodging. But now that it no longer does, the Caltrops are no longer buffed while the Nusha is dodging. So the Nusha has to actually commit to a dodge attack for the Caltrops to be buffed for a very small time. So it should make the Caltrops a lot less annoying, but still they're ridiculously good feat. So don't worry about that one too much.
Yeah, so Caltrops is still really good, right? It's just a matter of like it won't get massively buffed by this anymore, and you're not gonna melt people down as fast as you used to. Okay, so next up is Ki. So we've increased the cooldown for Ki by 15 seconds from 90 to 105. Again, like Steph was saying, it's mainly a feature of Orochi being able to Ki you every single fight, putting you out of stamina, and then putting such an insane amount of pressure on you that it was like really, really hard to get out of. So by nerfing the cooldown a little bit, it should be a bit more manageable. You're not gonna get PI'd all the time, and it should be a little bit better.
Orochi 的那个
Here it is.
吼
Yeah, here it is, right?
Orochi 的吼就是会让你那个马上没有经历的那个
Here's the thing, right? Smoke bomb
冷却时间增长。
Probably the most hated feat in the entire game. It's been
看他
banned
那
by
个
the
smoke
competitive players
smoke
for
bomb 我
I
没
don't
有
know
看
how
很
long
懂。
now. It used to do all sorts of crazy things, like it would like prevent lock, prevent capturing points, it gave people stealth, it made you unable to parry external attacks, like all sorts of things. We found some cute little nuggets in there while we were going through it as well, like it would block line of sight, like do all sorts of crazy things. So we've got rid of all of that because it was much too complicated, and it also like created like really unfavorable gameplay scenarios. So instead now what happens is you throw a smoke bomb and all of your opponents within its blast are stunned for 5 seconds. 5 second stun is still quite a long stun. You can use smoke bomb a bit more efficiently while you're in a group fight. You can go run up to people, throw a smoke bomb, and then they're going to be stunned, and then if you don't see indicators for 5 seconds, you can still throw and block a
哦，对，他第一个我看懂了，就是他那个时间减少嘛，就是他那个
And you can still throw a smoke bomb, stun people
那
around
个
you
什
and
么
then just run away.
烟雾
And they're
烟
not
雾
gonna
弹
see
的那个
indicators,
持续时间好像减少了，
It still works,
变5秒钟
not。as efficiently as it did before. You can still do stuff with it, but you can no longer just go, hey, look, I'm on his own. Smoke bomb. Oops, you can't capture it. So that was a big thing there.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Whatever the functionality.
Better
Alright, so now we have Shinobi, right?
Than first time.
Yeah, let's do Shinobi. Basically,
We're ready
had
to
some
push
testing
the
grounds for
hero
this
life
hero.
in
We made a bunch of
with
edits
a few
based
change.
on the 2 testing grounds that were there. Finally, we're ready to go live with a set of those changes before and a few more
Hide the
edits.
testing grounds,
So this will be exciting.
bro.
One more hero from the both the dumpster and the strange, frustrating universe to hopefully viable at this point.
All right, cool. Yeah. So, quick recap. So the feedback we got from the testing grounds was much more positive than the first time. We still had to do some changes to make the character more viable and make it more workable. So let's go through them round. So first up, we're gonna have front roll, right? So front roll, really cool move. It was good, but it wasn't as good as it should be. So what we've done is we've made it have a very high amount of iframes. So it's 600 milliseconds. As a note, basically you can cancel out of your front roll into like a flip kick or sickle rain or whatever at 600. So you're essentially full iframe until you actually do those attacks. That's quite good. It is now 900 milliseconds, down from 1,000, so it executes a bit faster. And on top of that, as a little bonus, we wanted it to we want people to feel as if it was a dodge. So it also changed to double dodge. So you can now do front roll, double dodge, like smoke dodge for some people, if that's what you want to call it. But you can, you can front roll dodge and really reposition yourself in group fights and do all those sorts of good things. It's super interesting, works much better than before, and also has like more utility. So backflip. Backflip is similar to front roll, right? So the idea is that we want to have front roll and backflip to be very, very, very similar in feeling. Feel like they're dodges, feel like you can avoid attacks with them, and also chain to the same attacks as one other. So backflip now also has 600 milliseconds of iframes. Super good. You can avoid attacks, all sorts of stuff with it. It's 900 up from 600 milliseconds. So, but you can still chain out of it at 600. So you can go to sickle rain into kickflip now also. So you can do backflip into kickflip or backflip into sickle rain. You can't go into front roll anymore because that ended up being more frustrating for players than anything. You couldn't really it was hard to really initiate with a Shinobi after you did a backflip, and so we wanted to make sure that
干，幸好他们改掉他妈的后闪在前滚，操，那他妈超鸡巴！幸好他们改掉了。
That people wanted to have the range heavy back after backflip. We've decided to remove it because the biggest issue is if you can't target swap it, it's pretty much useless. And we don't want it to be target swappable because then we go back to the issue we had in the first testing grounds which is you can get an off-screen, unblockable, bump, unreactable attack, which feels extremely bad. So instead, we've focused on having Shinobi having these tools where he's slippery, gets in and out, does all those cool things, but is still not super frustrating as he used to be.
The specificities of like just how problematic such a move is like if it's not controlled by a cooldown like a feat is, like projectiles are in that sense, or you don't have a certain risk to doing it, like Shaman will move quite heavily forward and be punishable because she's now within your range when she misses, then it becomes very hard because like Shinobi's still super far away. How can you punish a thing that you've dodged or missed? And if you're dealing with group fights where Shinobis are 8 meters away and slapping you for free constantly, like it's a bit difficult.
Yeah, and on top of that, we've actually done tests where like we reduce the range of the range attacks, and it just feels really bad because the range just feels super arbitrary, and you just miss. You're like, why did I miss? Oh, I was in 1 pixel in the right direction or whatever. So at least this way, it's all more consistent as well.
Yeah, if it came with a cooldown, or if it came with like your body moves within range of the tools of the opponent,
that would be different.
These are moves that work, but this is not how this one works. So
exactly. All right, next up, flip kick. Right, so again, including with the theme of having Shinobi being really slippery, being able to perform really well in group fights, but really offensively, you can now target swap flip kick. So you can do front roll target swap flip kick, back flip target swap flip kick. So again, like people that want to range heavy there, you can still you're gonna be able to do a flip kick instead. But as Stefan said, because you are moving with your flip kick and you're not just like off screen doing stuff, it's a lot more manageable. And to make sure that it actually reaches people, you can now move forward slightly more when you're using it. So again, it feels much better, but that's pretty good for that attack. So next up, front dodge. So, oh my god, I see a new option here. I don't know what that means. So front dodge kick is back at 300 milliseconds. And front dodge, we had tried it at 200. For Shinobi specifically, the experiment did not work because he didn't have another attack. So as soon as you would say Shinobi like front dodge, you would just front dodge. You would avoid everything, right? So
dodge heavy. What? Huh?
So
dodge heavy? Dodge heavy?
Added a new attack, which is a front dodge heavy. It's 700 milliseconds. Feintable. You can do it from run to 500 milliseconds in the front dodge. And it initiates chain. So Max, show us the video. So there we go.
Wow!
Looks really cool. Really different from what Shinobi typically has. But it's very useful. You can chase down people with it. You can open up people with it. Do a lot of stuff. You can try to do some peeling. Super amazing. Doesn't feel a ton of revenge like the kicks do. So it's really, really interesting move. I think that it will really open up a lot of venues.
Cool.
Okay, so we're reaching the end now.
Zone attack now, chance to stick around.
Right? So zone attack was one of those things that we didn't really do much of in the previous testing rounds. And Shinobi's zone attack actually still felt quite lackluster. Like it's quite good in the lane. Like it's actually one of the better lane clears. But at the same time, you wouldn't really use it in group fights or whatever because it was kind of bad. So what we've done is first we've reduced the stamina cost. So it goes down from 17, like it's 3 hits. So it was 17,
他体力减少了，对他们应该要减少体力消耗。干那个妈洗一消真的是大的靠背，大的靠背，真的是妈！你看，17、17、21，这加起来多少？34，34加像是55哎。
And you can also chain to sickle rain. So you can do zone attack into sickle rain. So you can actually go into a 1v1 situation, for example, throw out a zone attack, go into your sickle rain, do all sorts of mix-ups at top that's still unblockable. Do good mix-ups with that, works quite well. So that's it for zone attack, but it should make the attack a lot more viable. And then last but not least, on Shinobi, there's a couple of other changes. Most importantly is HP. We're back to 120. He used to be at 110. It was sort of warranted due to like all the ranged attacks.
是有差你
to be more of a glass cannon. But now with Shinobi having a lot less of those options, it doesn't make any sense for him to be at 110. So at 120 works much better, less squishy. That's pretty interesting.
希望有差啦，好不好？希望有差。
Also adjusted the tracking, trajectories, and forward movement of most of his light and heavy attacks. it should make him a lot more consistent, right? Because a lot of the time you would throw out an attack with Shinobi, he would barely move forward, you would miss, you'd be like, why did this miss when it hits with pretty much everybody else? So with these changes, it should really help with the consistency of these things and being able to land them. So yeah, Steph, Ben, what are your thoughts on Shinobi?
God, December 30 to January. Fuck. 反正就是12月30到1月6号了。
All the problem points were kind of handled very well.
干那么久哦。
Like we did a super good job at making him feel like a ninja without having the long range sickle stuff. So props to that. Yeah.
It's cool. It's super hype. I mean, Shinobi, she got good buffs. Orochi, she got good nerfs. Raider, she got good nerfs. Shigoki, he got good nerfs. And the feats, which are mostly Orochi, good nerfs or semi
good nerfs.
Giant nerfs, let's say.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so
like,
it's super good.
Yeah, so we'll definitely get, see how the community kind of feels about it whenever that comes out on December 9th. Everything we just talked about will be launching with Frozen Shores, so definitely, once you update your game, go ahead and try it.
Jesus Christ.
Feedback. But now,
like a fucking machine gun,
and
bro.
dive right into the new testing grounds, which will be launching December 30th and running to January 6th.
January.
We have some Dominion stuff that we want to get into, but we also have a rework as well. So let's go ahead and dive right in and start with Dominion series. Sorry, I'm thinking about the Dominion series because like I love Dominion. Just Dominion. My bad. You have the floor. You have the floor.
All right. So just a little summary here.
Feedback. Match is too long. List player rich there.
The first week was one set of values, and the second week was another set of values. So, in the first week, when we looked at the data, we saw that the matches were too long. So, like a good minute longer than the usual live matches, and less people were getting to their feet 4 than on live. And we saw that we might have been a bit too harsh on the minion lane. So those were kind of the main takeaways. And then in the second week, we saw that like on live, about 58% of people get to their feet 4 in a average Dominion. On second week, 44% made it to their feet 4. So that was clearly something we needed to tackle. So by making the length of the matches exactly like on live, which we thought was a win at first, but we also needed to take into consideration the renown values that might not have been high enough for people to reach feet 4 in that amount of time. But we also saw that we had a perfect point split between the capture zones and the minion. So what do? We're pretty happy with
他把它降低了。
We just feel that it took too much to get to your feet. So what we're going to be doing for the second PG is drastically lower the thresholds. So as you can see in the image, feet 4 is now 220. So we're hoping that by lowering it this much, we're going to get back to the about 58% of people getting their feet 4. On the next topic, we have the capture speeds. That one's a bit of a trouble spot. Like a lot of people have strong opinions on that one. Some people wanted the team aspect of, if you go as a team, you get on a point, it goes faster. It made sense for a lot of people. But in the end, we decided to keep the aspect of always the same speed, no matter how many people are on it. There are pros and cons to this, but we feel that the pros are outweighing the cons. So on the pro side, we have, well, you're going to start healing faster. You're going to start making points faster. You're going to have a easier time getting out of breaking, and it's going to be easier to capture and prevent infinite contests. So that would happen sometimes on the small maps, like Beachhead, where a point would be contested the whole
capture
game.
Speed.
So, because now it's a bit faster to capture, we can hope that it'll change hands a bit more often. And on the cons, we have maps like Beachhead that is definitely going to be defender favored. with these values because then the defenders will always be able to go get the points before they can be contested. So that's kind of a bummer. It's going to be slightly easy for dead balls, still harder than live.
这样子打懂minion打很慢欸。
It used to take 0.9 seconds to capture. It's going to be 4.5
可是这有它的另一个好处
and it's going to be slightly harder to defend. So obviously, one less second to go back to your point to prevent the back cap is one less second. But we feel it's less of a a negative than all the pros that I listed earlier.
Because it should be hitting the death balls more than a solo, right? If you're a solo who caps a zone, it's going to take you the same amount as if they spent 2 or 3 or 4 players to spend a zone. So if you've got 4 players running around the map killing everybody and you have 1 player backcapping, that 1 player isn't wasting their time. It's actually worthwhile now.
Yeah, exactly. And so as a summary, as I said earlier, we're not going to be changing the renown at all. To be honest, we tried the defending zone a little in our tests, but as soon as we made it to like even 5, we found that it gave you a ton of renown for just playing the game normally. It didn't feel like we were really getting that by spending any amount of effort. So we're keeping it at 0, keeping the same values as week 2 because we feel they are pretty spot on. And on the next slide we have the points, which again we reached a perfect split. Like on average, minion lane gave as many points for a team as both points together. So we feel that these values are super close to where we want to be in the future. And as an added bonus for people playing in the TG, we have a new UI gizmo that the UI team helped us develop. So if you look on the top left and compare it to the top right, you see that we now have a we call it the renown widget. So basically, every time you gain renown, it's no longer gonna be lost in the text log of people going good fight, congratulating you for being a good Orochi player, all the capture points that you did, and all that stuff. So you're gonna be able to see the renown that you just gained for a kill, for a minion kill, for capturing, for boosting, all that good stuff. And you're still gonna be able to see whoever you kill, so that you can be happy about getting that troll that just keeps killing you with Orochi.
This might not seem like much, honestly, but when we've been playing with it for a little while now, it makes things so much more easy to understand. Like seeing the exact amount of renown you got is amazing.
And right by the renown meter, which makes total sense.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes so much sense. So Stefan, you wanna bring us to the next one?
Yes. I guess we're going to Conqueror now.
Yep.
Let's talk about Conqueror. Sorry, Conqueror.
So what are we trying to do here?
Do you want to launch it?
You go, please.
Okay, quickly. The one kind of major one I'll talk about is like all the offense is concentrated into one spot. Dodge forward or counter side dodge, shield bash into guaranteed light, into sit there menacingly is Conqueror's kind of offensive game plan.
Menacingly being the keyword here. Like I'm always scared because it's all that you're gonna see is gonna bash you with his shield.
And otherwise, like when you look at like the zone info block and stuff like that, it's like Conqueror sits in the lane, surrounded by minions, target swaps to the minions. You cannot hit the Conqueror unless you have a bash that you can put in the hole between the zone. And you're like, what is going on? This is extraordinarily frustrating to fight. And it's not, I mean, maybe some Conqueror players love it, but I mean, like, I don't know. It does not seem exciting to me.
Yeah, and on top of that, like that was like, it's borderline an option select, right? I think Conqueror is the only one that was basically still had an option select, because if you threw a regular heavy, a regular light, or whatever, Conk could just zone and parry you, or oh, by the way, I'm gonna go into my zone and I'm gonna block it. So I think that's a big. We're gonna have a big win there as well.
Definitely a lot of jank with this move, so let's try to clean it up a little bit.
不是啊，按你 Conqueror， 按你 Conqueror 又没有到很强。他的 zone attack 做那样子其实很合理吧？
There's a lot of stuff to go through.
So the evolution your heart.
Oh my god, yeah. All right, so charging state. So to be clear, charging state is before you are fully charged. All right, so Now you can start charging while you're in a chain. Anytime you can do a heavy, you just hold that heavy and he's going to start charging. If you release a heavy before the full charge, you're going to do a chained heavy, which we'll get to a bit later. It's faster to get to your full charge from 600 to 900 ms. You no longer have any defense while you're in this state to kind of balance it out to make it more of a offensive thing more than a defensive thing. You can no longer cancel the charge with a dodge. You can no longer cancel the charge with a bash either. Also, you'll understand why later. And the charging no longer depletes stamina. So just going like this should not be winding you up, so to speak. So it's not gonna anymore. And on the full charge, so while you're ready to release the charge to go into your unblockable, you can cancel that with a guard break now. You can cancel that with a dodge. You can feint. The feint is no longer 300 ms. It's faster, and it gets you to your quick guard break. And it no longer pauses your stamina regeneration. So you can be at 5 stamina, start your charge, and you're gonna see your stamina go back up. So that feels amazing. Let's see some footage of that. So no longer any defense. You can dodge while you're fully charged. Good stuff.
Oh,
there you go.
Woohoo!
The beauty of just doing a charge at the middle of your chain and then keep going. Next we have the heavies. On the heavy side, well, you can feint them now.
That's more feint.
This is why I get paid the big designer moolah, right? I see a heavy and I'm like, can you feint it, Steph? And he's like, no. And I'm like, what if we can? Huh? And I get a big check in the morning and they're like, yeah, okay.
What a profound question.
Yeah. So
I mean, it made total sense, right? He would feint it with putting his shield down instead of just stopping attacking. I mean, totally
so that was one of the reasons why Kage is just dodge bash the character into Watchmen basically, is that he could feint his heavy. So you can't even start threatening someone with a heavy because they're just like, well, I guess I'm just gonna block it. And if you go into a shield bash instead, it's so slow I can dodge it. So now you can feint them. You can no longer cancel them into the shield uppercut because we no longer wanted with the shield uppercut. Well, it's the shield bash mix-up. With the shield bash mix-up now being actually fast and unreactable, we didn't want the Kong to just be a bash machine, like always throwing bashes at you. Feels like it would be kind of frustrating. We made the recoveries standardized at 800 ms, so no longer any of those 1 second recoveries. We made the side trajectories much better, so you can hope to tag some people on external once in a while. The opener heavy no longer has any superior block on the strike. That's something that the walking fortress type player will not like, because now you can no longer try to parry a light and then block the heavy afterward just for letting go of that heavy. And the heavies in chain are now undodgeable, which makes the Conqueror, I think, the only character that has a infinite chain undodgeable. It's pretty crazy. I can't wait to see the reactions on this one. I can see them actually here. The beautiful feints. There you go. And then we can do the feint on the full one unblockable.
What the fuck?
And then we have the undodgeable heavy that the Orochi will not like, I guarantee you. Next up, we have the zone attack. So, and then we have the undodgeable heavy.
他那个动作好奇怪哦。
And then we have the undodgeable head. Full feints, there you go. And then we can do the feint on the full one unblockable as well. And then we have Impregnable Fortress.
No longer has full block. Can no longer be hold.
Impenetrable, maybe? More like...
No, no, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Okay,
no
so,
single hit attacks with
you can do some real, shenanigans with that by focusing on the
damage from 8.
People without a bash are they're screwed. They can't do anything. So we remove the full block from the zone attack. You can't hold it anymore. It's now just a single hit attack. We gave it a better trajectory, so it's gonna hit more people. we obviously give it more damage, obviously, because it's no longer going to be like always out. We made it faster, and we made it initiate change. So a bunch of good stuff, a quality of life, while removing some of the more defensive options, you could say. So there you go, chaining to heavy and chaining to the shield bash mix-up. Oh, what a segue. All right, move to the next slide. Boom, shield bash mix-up in chain. So that's your shield bash in a chain. Again, this is why you didn't want to press buttons with Conqueror before. You did a light, you pressed X, you would do a 800 MS bash that my grandma could probably dodge. I can't, but my grandma probably could.
She has amazing skills, your grandmother, for these things. She's just built different. Yeah.
So it no longer wall staggers. It costs less stamina to do. You can no longer chain on this because it's unreactable. It's much less of a commitment than it used to be. It has better forward movement, so you can target swap people in a group fight and hope to get them. And it no longer deals stamina damage or plus stamina regeneration. So thank God for that. Let's see an action right here.
Out of stamina all the time.
I mean, you were doing that, yeah. With the dodge bash forward, same thing happens. So yes, no more out of stamina bullying with the conk where you're out of stamina for like 2 minutes. All right, next we have the flail uppercut. So bit of confusion there possible here. It's the flail uppercut as the move that you did from your full block stance. You would block an attack and then you go now that move is after the shield bash, right? So you go shield bash, you press light, it's gonna do the flail uppercut, and it's immediate damage, which you can then use to flow into your chain lights or your chain heavies or your full charge. It's actually an excellent moment to start full charging because your opponent is gonna be in a medium hit reaction, so you have time to charge before they can start retaliating. So 9 stamina, 12 damage, 500 MS. It's uninterruptible stance, so you can actually throw it out and people might try to interrupt you and you're just going to tank that hit and still do your damage. It changed to all the good stuff. And you can press heavy if, yeah.
Whoa, what the fuck? 等一下，这个不行，这个 too much 了。
So if you do a shield bash and you think someone's going to try to guard break your vulnerability on the flail uppercut,
这个 too much 了，我觉得这个不行。
And do your chain heavy, and boom, you're gonna get that guy. So I gave you the.
God, what the fuck, bro? No.
Next we have the full block stance. Again, a pillar of the hero that we're doing a lot of changes to. So it no longer does shield after. Yeah, he has a big shield. So you can roll the video while I talk, I guess. There's no longer any stamina cost to blocking attacks. So if you're playing on live right now and you're doing this, you're out of stamina 5 seconds. Every heavy would take out like 25 stamina or something. So no longer any of that. You can even go into that state and recover stamina. You can dodge cancel out of it as you saw, and you can cancel the recovery of your moves into turtle stance, much like other heroes like the Blackbriar can do. And you can also go directly from a block into full block stance. Just so if someone's trying to do like an infant chain on you, you can actually just go into the per block stance and do your punch. There is no longer any zone attack from this stance, sadly, but it will no longer really make sense for it because it no longer has a full block anyway. So we just took the opportunity away and made it better as a defensive tool more than a, I guess, a toxic one, you could say. Yes, I think that went through all of it. And we have the new move. So this replaces flail uppercut. It's called the Scottish Collection. Google that word. It's pretty cool. It works very well with the lore of the Conqueror. So when you're blocking something with the full block stance and you press heavy or zone, you're going to do this new move. I guess you could show it, Max. It has full block. It's unblockable. It costs 12 stamina.
What the fuck?
Damage, and you can initiate chains with it. So boom and brand new opportunity.
干这太扯了，这他妈绝对要 nerf， 这太扯了，这什么东西啊
？Superior block dodge into an attack and press heavy to do Scottish collection. So you can still do that and do the shield bash to get a guaranteed shield bash, but now it's just instantly better to be doing the Scottish collection in a group fight because it's going to be doing a ton of damage. So
yeah, it's really cool. Honestly, in a group fight, you manage to block a single attack from one person, get everybody off of you with that big thing. It's really cool.
他虽然我跟你讲，他虽然伤害很低，但是他妈的太干他那个 mix up 太多了。
What happens if you throw lights in the same stance? Whoa. Oh.
No more molasses.
It's kind of absurd that this is even needed to be done, but yes, you no longer throw a 900 ms light if you throw 2 lights in the same direction. I got this information from the crease in my hair. Sometimes I get data going in there, and it's like, oh, fast lights in the same direction. So I bet all the Conqueror mains will be happy to see that one. We made it even faster on the recovery, and we gave it more forward movement. So again, you can target swap and hit people in the fight. Next, we have the unblockable heavy. No video to cover that one, but it's pretty simple. Basically, it's faster. It always deals 32 damage no matter what stance you do it from. And again, we made it travel farther, so in a group fight, you're more comfortable target swapping. And last but not least, the shield bash from neutral. So you're dodging, you're doing a forward shield bash. We delayed the start of the shield bash from 100 ms to 200 ms. And it no longer deals stamina damage or pauses stamina generation. So, as a Conqueror, someone out of stamina in front of you, I mean, you can still do that, but he's gonna get his stamina back. So, that covers all of it. There's a lot to see and play around with. So, I'll be really curious to see what the community.
这个 too much 了，这个他妈这个征服太多了，太多了。
You definitely weren't kidding when you said that Conqueror, like, it's essentially just a new version of Conk because there's so many changes to him, and there's a lot that you guys added to him. So I'm very excited because as someone who doesn't really play Conk a ton, I'm really interested to kind of get into that on the testing grounds for sure.
We converted a lot of people into playing Conk in our play sessions.
Yeah. On the dev team, a lot of people that didn't used to play Conk now actually love playing him, so that's pretty interesting.
但是他妈太多了，他妈不是这样搞的吧？傻小啦。
On December 9th with Frozen Shores, we have the Orochi, Raider, Shigogi, and Feet nerfs, and we also have a Shinobi's rework, which is coming with a couple of tweaks. And then, of course, what we just discussed with the Dominion and the rework to Conk, that will be with the testing grounds going live on December 30th, going to January 6th. But that right there, that's it. Steph and JC, Ben, thank you so much for coming on. And before we go, Steph, I do believe you have one thing that you'd like to add before we get out of here.
Just want to give a quick shout out to Captain Grant and Arlo Verite for sending us some interesting mail with Highlander and a sick comic there. So the dev team quite appreciated it. So thank you very much.
Yeah, it was super cool to see those things. Honestly,
nice. Yeah.
Awesome. And one last thing I'd like to add super quickly on the Shinobi rework side, we have the full patch notes available, so you can go look at an exhaustive list of changes. What we've presented today is what changed from the last testing grounds to now. Just so that everybody's clear. I know there's been some confusion for that in the past. So this way, like, we know if you want to get the full list, go look at the patch notes. We wrote everything down. So you know everything that's going on with it.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you, gentlemen, so much for coming out to talk about the testing grounds. And Warriors, we will be right back with Clarissa to talk about the Dominion series that I totally mentioned earlier in this segment. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All right.
And welcome back to the Warriors Den. Thank you very much for returning.
我没有办法，我绝对没有办法同意他们把征服改成那样子。他原本是很弱，没错，但是他妈的，改成那样子，大家都玩征服就好啦，林老师嘞。
How are you doing today, Lawrence?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm doing good. Production of the Dominion Series Stage 3, and especially our casters, Sohinki, Vivid Naz, our host, Slacks, and also Humanist, who were like really awesome people to help explain what the Dominion series is, what's going on in the current hero meta, what's really special about Stage 3 is that we get to see Kyoshin in the competitive scene. And one of my favorite things is we get to see some of the players talk about who are they worried about, like what other teams are they looking to fight, what heroes they think are
好，反正 summary 总而言之，我绝对没有办法认同他妈那征服改成那样，他妈太扯了，他妈太扯了。他是等于说完全没有任何惩罚，他比那个现在的大师还要扯，他妈不知道几倍。虽然说他妈他的伤害很低，但是干呢I'm speechless， 无言了，好不好？反正总而言之，那个 Conqueror 一定要 nerf， 他们不能因为了让就是更多玩家去玩这个角色，所以把它改成那样子，那他妈已经不是一个角色了，那他妈是 BOSS 等级，好不好？反正就这样吧。对 ，nerf Conqueror。